Time for a little B&H package pickup.
I've been commissioned to DP a car rally for Mini Cooper. They're going to go across the U.S. Normally, this is my go-to option. Always, forever, the FX6. But we're going to go much lighter than that. And the FX6 is not the right choice. Luckily, I just picked up an A7S III, and this will be the right choice. So I want to walk through what I'm going to bring, where it's all going to fit. So let's just start off with the two lenses I'll be pairing with it is the 16-35 G Master Mark I and the 24-70 G Master Mark II. This is a specialty lens that I use maybe once a year. I always want to sell it, and then I always randomly end up using it. It's EF mount because I got this when I had an EF system when I was on my C70. So I got the Sigma MC11, which is perfect. If you're adapting EF to E, highly recommend this one. I rarely get to use this, and the cool part about this job is they said, we do not want full event coverage style, whereas that can typically be what I'm hired to do. So it's nice because they said, we want this to be creative, unique, cinematic, and only the best shots. That's the only ones we're going to use, so that's the only ones we need filmed. And that makes it much easier on me. So for support, how am I going to get these nice shots? Well, we're going to go with my DJI RS3 Pro for the gimbal. That'll be all the smooth, controlled movements, but the guy in charge says, I don't want you to live on this. So I can't if I have this anyways. So I'm going to be going with a tripod. Now this is the one that I always use, the eImage GH06. It's great. It's basically like a budget Sackler in certain ways. It has the mono locks where you just adjust those and pull the whole thing up and down. It's great. Too heavy and too big for this bag. It fits, I've done it before, but I'm going to go to the one that I upgraded from, which is this super lightweight little tripod, which was perfect for when I had the GH5S before my C70, the 80D, the 60D. This thing was perfect for that, and it was perfect for my skills at the time. Now it's perfect for this type of job, even though this is a much better tripod. The only thing it doesn't have, which I really, really wish it did, is the counterbalance. It makes a big difference when you have a heavy payload like this on, but I can still get it balanced. And that brings me to how I'm going to be efficient with these. Because if anybody knows, switching from gimbal to tripod can be super annoying. The benefit in this big fat lens is it has a tripod collar. So this is basically going to live on here. And I can get it balanced whenever I need to use this lens. All I have to do is pop this one off here and throw it on here. The biggest difference between using my A7S III and my FX6 is the internal ND. And that is what just got picked up. I leave in 2 days, so I need to figure this out soon. I got two options. I got a ton of recommendations from when I asked about who has a suggestion for ND and CPL in one filter. A lot of people were giving me variable NDs, which I didn't really want, but it was good to hear that they had good uses. Top suggestions were the Peter McKinnon's and a couple of other ones. So I went with this Polar Pro, yes, Polar Pro ND16 and polarizer. I believe ND16 is 4 stops. ND32 I think is 6 stops. So this will be, I'm assuming, the nicer one because it's not variable, and usually those are higher quality. Nice case, and it's 82 mil, which both of these GM lenses are. Cool. So fixed stop, and this is the circular polarizer. I'm going to do some tests before I go on this trip. I'm hoping it's this, and then adjust any other exposure I need with the aperture ring. The other one is H&Y Evo Series filter, screw-in mode, magnetic mode, redefining photography, magnetic lens cap. There's a lot going on here. So these are nice because you can move the individual rings. That was a common problem on a lot of the filters that were suggested, is if you have two rings, it's very hard to move one without the other if you're just using your finger. So this, I definitely think will break off, but for the time I have it, that sounds great. Okay, hard stops on the ND, 1.5 to 5 ND stops. The reason I got this one is redundancy. Let's see how it works. I already got a fingerprint on there. Whoops. But more so, it is to fit this guy. 95mm thread. And then, if this is the right one, if this is like, oh, this can handle everything, then I bought a step-up ring to go from 82mm front thread size to 95, and have the ability of variable. Normally I don't just buy extra things and you know, it kind of feels like a waste, but in this type of scenario, I'm going to be on the road and I don't have time to try something else, or simply just for failure. If something else breaks, I need another option rather than going f/22 1/8000 shutter. So interested to do some tests with these. And then this gig requires no audio, so I don't have to bring this, but in the pre-production meetings, on the Zoom calls, they mentioned something about it, so I'm just going to have it just in case. Not using my Sony UWPs, but I am using this new guy, which is the adapter to eliminate the cabling when I connect the DJI Mic 2 to the hot shoe here. And then for power, I went with all Sony brand. There's a bunch of other ones that are much cheaper. I think these were $79 each, but like I said, I don't want to risk it. I need them to charge up to 100%. I need them to fail at 0%. I don't want anything in the middle. This is where I saved a couple bucks. A dual charger, and this is really for just being in a pinch, because I'm planning on, we're going to be driving pretty much the whole time. So either plugging this in to the car outlet, or I'm bringing one V-mount battery. That V-mount battery is going to be charged by my small rig USB-C cable. Maybe to charge my phone, whatever. But that will be for on-the-go charging. And then when I bought my A7S III, it came with the single charger. So that is in here. That way I can potentially charge 3 at a time, and I don't have to do 4 cycles at the end of every night. That definitely is leaving room for error. So this should be a little bit better. But like I said, if this is cheap and doesn't work, we got the OEM one. Cards. This is, I really recommend this. It was $9, and it's the strongest case that I have with the most amount of slots. So there's no way I will be using all of these per day, but if I did, this is when they're ready to take, and this is when they get transferred to this side, meaning I need to offload those clips. I think that's it. And everything's gonna fit in here. Well, my clothes will fit in here, the tripod will fit in here, the gimbal, but all of my camera gear will be on a carry-on, this carry-on, and then I always take my personal item bag, so that I have my headphones, my iPad, laptop, and because I know I'm gonna have to still do work while I'm on this job. But all of this gear gets to stay here. I don't have to take any of this, which is so nice. Just what is on this table. Put away the DJI mic, so you're just hearing audio straight from the phone. Doing optical testing now, and also like ergonomic testing. So this is the Polar Pro, the hard stop, 4 stops, and adjusting the polarizer, which I think is going to be my favorite. And this is the H and Y. We got the polarizer functionality here, and then ND variable here. So 1.5 to 5 with hard stops, which is nice. I actually might go to 6. On a variable, I always stay away from the max. So this would be probably as far as I want to go. And after using these for 20 seconds, I feel qualified to give my opinion. Watch me move the polarizer ring right here, and then watch the reflection on the seat. So normal, and then if I'll let you see my finger. If I twist, darken, brighten, darken. So it is cutting the reflectiveness off of that kind of fake plastic type of thing, which is the same thing that happens on car windows, on painted car panels. So imagine if this, this black chair was a black car. Well, here you can't really see the color, and that's a much richer, deeper black. And that's the whole reason why I needed to get polarizers on both of these. So I was thinking if this one was solid enough, I would just switch it back and forth. Now, after using this, or after messing with this for a few seconds, having the double ring, which I've had this type of filter before from Genus Tech, just gets a lot to manage, and having one ring with limited functionality, because it's a hard stop, is definitely the way I'm going to go. And it's kind of going to work how I designed it. That stays there, that stays here, or switches to the 16 to 35. And I believe, let me see here, if I have a lens cap, this would be really important. Does it clip on, or do I need to take this off every time? Oh, thank goodness. Okay, it's actually feels very secure. I never needed to get one for here because my FX6 has this on the internal ND. However, I am going to be surfing a lot more. I'm making that just like a personal thing. I need to get in the water more. I love surfing, but I also want to film surfing more. And same thing for automotive, anything with water. A polarizer is an amazing option to have. It can literally transform the image just with a polarizer. So when I use my FX6 with this lens, I'm going to use this filter because I can have control over ND and polarization. There might be a huge issue. So this is very hard to screw on because in order to screw it, right, you can't grab this outside thread, it'll spin. You can't grab the middle thread, so you have to somehow grab this inside one, but it's shorter on this side. So when this is against a lens, barely can you touch that. So right now I'm using my nails to kind of split 180 degree and spin it like this so that it goes on, right? So let's do that, and let's put it on, which I don't mind doing this, once, but as I tighten, okay, that's as far as it's gonna go. So I can go back and I can tighten. Now, as I wiggle this, it feels good. Just comes off. I'll try it again. And I read this in the reviews and I said, I'll figure it out. They don't know what they're talking about. but a bunch of people said it's very hard to thread this on. Okay, again, it's on. Now this is tight. Can't twist it anymore. I don't feel secure because this lens is gonna live on the other tripod, and it's gonna get thrown into the back of the car. And then we're gonna say, let's grab this long lens shot, let's pop this lens cap off, throw the A7S on here, shoot, put it back in. This could easily just fall off, roll down the road, and I'm out $100 odd bucks. It seems like it's working now. Does that work? Because it does that. Does it ever stop? No, it doesn't. So it's kind of like fake threads. I don't know. That's why I bought 2 filters. Now for gimbal. So I'm actually using my Zhiyun cable when I had the Crane 2 to just go from USB-C from the camera to USB-C right there. And that will allow me to have record functions. So, and I press, it's recording, and press. It even has half press for focus. This is pretty much what I'm gonna be rocking most of the time. Finally got it. We're hot chewing now. Well, since I'll be gone for 7 days, this is my last chance to skate and go do some MMA. Now changing out of the skate uniform into the MMA uniform. Dead.